right, Natalie Rose right there. Promise Me Beautiful. That's dedicated to Nathan Arizotti. Just waking you up. Good morning, everybody. It is Meet the Candidates right now, 9:02, and we're sitting here with Patty Maginnis coming up in a second until I say good morning to Nathan. Nathan, how you doing?
Pretty deadgum good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's a beautiful day in Conroe.
It is pleasantly cool, sunshiny. People are all around the courthouse square, downtown. It's nice.
Early voting. mctx.org/election for your polling times and locations, folks. You can get out and vote today, all the way leading up to March 1st. So if you haven't done that, do it today or do it tomorrow or do it. Although you can actually vote on the weekends. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
And you can also mail in your votes next time. I mean, that's what I would do. But at least make sure it gets there, though. Certified mail that. I wonder who would sign for it.
I don't believe.
Can you certify? Can you certify mail your ballot?
When I did it in Florida, it was a mailer that it came in. So
we know Florida has issues with voting.
Well,
so
it was all the federal stuff too. So
I wonder who would sign for it.
I don't think you can do that.
Why can't I? Why can't you certify mail anybody? You should be able to certify the president if you wanted to.
All right. Anyway, good morning, Patty.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Is that's probably why the United States Postal Service isn't doing too well. They have rules. It's horrible. But good morning, Patty.
Good morning, Dick. How are you?
I'm doing well. Do you know anything about that? Like, can you not?
I've never mailed in. I've always gone to the actual poll and voted in person, so I don't. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, you're one of those social people. I'm one of those basement people. So, but welcome to Mornings of Lone Star Meet the Candidates special segment. You can find Patty online. She's running for Judge 435th District Court. She's online, pattyforjudge.com. That's Patty with two T's. forjudge.com. She also has Facebook, and let's see what her response time is. I always like looking at these things on Facebook. Oh, you don't even have a response time. Does that mean no one messages you?
Oh, I have a good response time.
Okay, sure.
Last I looked.
Sure. Nathan, what's your response time?
75%.
75%.
One day.
One day. I'm just kidding with folks. It's something I always like to make fun of. I think ours is like 48 hours. We'll get back to you or something like that. But if you have a question for Patty, the reason I'm bringing that up is you can actually write a message on Facebook to Nathan Arizotti of Montgomery County Lifestyle. Make sure to check that out. And, she has it. She found 72%.
Yes, just for the record, 72% response rate, 3 minutes response time.
Hey, good job.
Thank you.
So if you got a question for Patty, visit her on Facebook. Patty Maginnis, public figure right there. She's running for Judge 430. Man, my dyslexia's hitting me hard. But I'm really excited about having you in because I don't think we've had anybody from this race in the studio yet. Is that right, Nathan?
That's right.
So if you don't mind, Patty, tell me a little bit about yourself right now, and then we'll kind of get into like what this position really is and other stuff like that. So just introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you. It's Patty Maginnis, and as Dick said, it's pattyforjudge.com, Patty. I started in the county back in 97, worked at the county attorney's office as a prosecutor, and then moved from there to the district attorney's office as a prosecutor. I was very fortunate, moved up through the office. I became a division chief, which means I supervised approximately a staff of 15 to 20. There were young lawyers. I really enjoyed my time there. Also was a district court chief. Had the fortunate experience to prosecute all the way up through capital murder cases, a lot of victim cases, and became very familiar with folks in the community, and was able to defend young victims who had the opportunity to come in and face their accusers, and that's a really fantastic thing to be a part of, to sit with a child as they face their accuser. From the DA's office, I started a firm, Maginnis, Pullen, and Young, and we did criminal defense work, we did family law, we did juvenile law. I've had the fortunate experience to practice in every area of the law, criminal, civil, juvenile, and family. And my two law partners, Tracy Pullen and Corey Young, they were both former prosecutors, so we had worked together in the past, and we've been just blessed with a very successful business relationship and a firm that served the community. And so that's been a great experience as well, because I've actually defended people and sat with them in the courtroom while they received a not guilty verdict. Some people are accused of crimes when they actually didn't commit the crime. So I've experienced justice on both sides. and that's been I feel blessed to have participated in that part of the system. I've been in the community since 97. I'm married to Chris Lovett. He's from Tomball, Texas, and we have 2 wonderful children, Luke and Eli, and they have just been fantastic through this whole process. I've watched my 2 children really understand the political process, and they have great questions at the end of a forum. They tell me their opinions about other candidates. So that's my history here up until this point. We are active members at Trinity Episcopal Church in the Woodlands. I'm volunteer with PTO organizations in Conroe ISD. Based on my career choice at the DA's office, I've been involved in being guest speaker for Conroe Independent School District for classes, and I've also been a speaker at Rotary clubs and a trainer and a facilitator for law enforcement in the past. So I've really been out in the community. Based on my career, it's given me opportunities to connect with people in the community and help.
Yeah, Montgomery County is a diverse community, and it's something that's important, I imagine, when you're going to want to be judge for that court. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the seat, the 435, the 435th seat for judge, and talk about what that does for Montgomery County, and especially why you need to be put there, because that's what you're fighting for. It's kind of weird. It's a weird situation to learn about these politicians, because technically they're fighting other people for a position, and they want it. Everybody wants this position, and it's always nice to see what strategies people have without being too much of a jerk or being too polite, because you gotta do some push and shoving to get what you want sometimes. Do you agree with that, Nathan?
I agree that a lot of people do it. I don't agree that you need to. It's a job interview. I do know some candidates in certain races that are treating this like a job interview, and they're absolutely not going against the left or the right. They're talking their vision, their race only.
I agree with that. It is. You're submitting a job application to the voting public.
But unfortunately, what you're saying is what is the loudest. It's the people that are crying. It's the candidate who's yelling and beating up their opponent or their record, or it's the supporters that are doing that. Take the Congressional District 8. It's really loud. But what is loud? Everybody who's dogging the incumbent. But very few are talking about what they want to do. I think here more locally, it's been pretty decent.
I'm just looking for that sweet paycheck. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just kidding. All right, fine. You guys are just in a serious mood this morning. We're going to take a quick break. We're sitting with Patty Maginnis. Look at her online. Look at her up online at pattyforjudge.com. She wants to fix the 435th. That's on her website. Read all about her right there. We're going to take a quick break with some music here on Mornings of Lone Star. I'm hanging out with Nathan Arizotti at Montgomery County Lifestyle, one of the coolest cats in town. We'll be back. 9:19 here on Mornings of Lone Star Community Radio here on irlonestar.com. Soon to be Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. Hanging out with Nathan Arizotti of Montgomery County Lifestyle. And this is the Meet the Candidate segment. If you don't know what that is, folks, every Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, we're going to be featuring something political leading up to March 1st for voting. Early voting has started. It started on Tuesday, if you didn't know that. So get out and vote. For more information about polling locations and times, visit www.mctx.org/elections. Today's guest is Patty Maginnis, and she's running for Judge 435th District Court. Find her online, Patty with 2 T's for judge.com. Welcome back. We're here. This is Hardball. We need to get some music is what we need.
We could, but you know what's funny? You're wild. I don't know if listeners out there, type in a message. He has been off the chain the last couple of days. He's excited. He's happy. He's smiling, but he's really got some vim and vigor in it.
That's just me normal.
Well, then for about 2 weeks you were somebody else. Not that you were bad, but the last couple of days you've been like, yay, rock and roll. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Patty, come on. Who wants to beat up who? Who wants to beat up who?
I don't want anyone to beat up anybody. I want some challengers, though. No, it's kidding.
Well, it's good that you have that vim and vigor today, because Patty has been running a very clean race. I mean, from the outside looking in, Patty, I honestly, I wasn't too sure where to go early on and who I was going to support and what I felt. But I got to tell you, with all the different rumors and all the things that have now come to fruition, you've played a very clean race. You've talked about yourself, your vision, and you've let everybody else talk about your opponents. And like Dick brought up earlier, that's not what everybody in these races are doing, but nationally, that deadgum sure is not what's going on.
I appreciate that, Nathan. I started the campaign with the idea that that 435th needed to be fixed, and that was not an attack on the opponent. It was basically my comment on the court and watching the court and what was happening with it. And so my goal was to fix the 435th. And in doing that, I hope that voters understand that this court can be great. We could be up and running by March 7th with a full docket to full capacity, and the taxpayers could actually be getting the most bang for their buck, so to speak. I do want to go back to Dick earlier. You mentioned voting and early voting in the locations. At pattyforjudge.com, I want you to know it's not just a site all about me. There's also information there. We have a sample ballot. We have information about all the early voting locations, the times, directions to the polls. So it's really a portal for information for voters on the entire election process. It also is going to go into great detail. There's been some developments in this particular race. Recently, we know that Mike Schissler has withdrawn as a candidate, and then most recently, he has resigned from office. And the Courier recently did an article. They did an endorsement of me, and it was a wonderful article. Not only about,
of course,
well, but
I'm just kidding.
I really want to give a shout out to the Courier, because it wasn't just about the endorsement of Patty Maginnis. It was also an explanation of things that have happened over the last 30 days, and I think it really helps to inform voters about the race, and things have changed.
And I want to piggyback on that too, because I've read it, and I went back and have been reading several of the different endorsements. There's a couple of them in there that aren't just, hey guys, go vote for so and so, we like them. Oh my God, you're right. When they mentioned you, that article was very detailed, very in depth. It was more than just a pat on the back. Same thing with like J.D. Lambright and other people. But you're right. They really expressed a lot for people to read and for people to think about. And I definitely think that you should be sharing that, because if people take the time to read it, it'll open their eyes to a lot of stuff.
Yes, and with the developments in the race for the 435th, the Courier went into detail that Mike Schissler withdrew as a candidate, and then the next step, when he resigned from office, the Courier went into detail, and I believe Dr. Wilkerson did a very good job explaining as well on behalf of the party that Mike Schissler's name will remain on the ballot. And that can be very confusing to voters when they go in. So what I hope voters will take away from that article is that even though his name is on the ballot, if he is elected, he will not be eligible to serve. So he will not be able to accept the elected position, which makes it extremely important that voters understand that their choice will be taken away at that point if they vote for Mike, because if he's elected, he'll withdraw officially, and then the governor will be in charge of appointing your next judge of the 435th, along with the recommendation of the executive committee. So voters, please understand that you have two choices. You have candidate Tom Brewer and you have candidate Patty Maginnis. And I will tell you that if you will research my qualifications, I am the most qualified candidate for this position, and I promise to serve you and have this court back in shape, and we'll take care of business. We'll take care of business, and we'll start March 7th, and we will get things done.
Now, I got to ask you some questions, and this is just general information, because I imagine when the current judge resigned, you did a lot of research. You're like, what's going on here? What's next? Because this is the turn of events, and it's kind of like a hot topic, I would say, in the political realm. Now, this right now is a primary election. Now, say, and this is just a what-if, and I'm just curious how the system works. The reason they don't take them off the ballot is because the ballot's already kind of set, because early voting's already kind of started.
there's a deadline of when a candidate can actually withdraw their name from the ballot, and we had passed that deadline. And that's how it's been explained by Dr. Wilkerson.
Mm-hmm. But not even that, but I mean, I'm just trying to think of the logic behind it, because if there's not a annotation or something on the ballot currently saying this person isn't going to be eligible, like, a little asterisk next to the name or something like that, it seems like just to get everyone's vote counted, because some people have already written their votes in, and basically if you take him off as not a counted vote, then you're taking away my right to vote, in a sense. I wonder if that's what it is, why they keep it. But more importantly, what I'm coming down to is the question is, say this is a primary, and now we're going into the next step. If there was a Democratic person running for that position, how would it be handled then? Because
I'm gonna make an assumption here, and that's never a good thing. But you would still go through the process of, there would be, I believe, if there would be probably an appointment, and then that appointed Republican appointee would battle in the next election with
the backup.
Yeah,
the backup.
And
I was wondering, because it really is. It brings an interesting ethical stance on the deal, because I can understand why they don't change the ballot, because people have already voted and everyone's vote counts, and they still want that to count. But it's also not informing people of the change in some official way.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for you to have Dr. Wilkerson in. And
we already had him in. I mean, we should get him back, because it's not something necessarily like an email blast. Hey, by the way, folks,
I think it boils down to where the government's job is not to make us aware of everything in the world. We should get off our butts and get informed.
Well, see,
I do.
It's not even
I'm
that.
a firm believer.
That's the issue I have currently with the primary elections being supported by the government, because really what it comes down to is the individual parties. It's up to them to host these types of voting deals. And that's from what I understand, because the Republican Party isn't a government agency, from what I understand, correct? Like, if
exactly.
I register with this private organization that is a 501, it could be a nonprofit, whatever, but it has nothing to do with the government. But the way it's showed to the people who are not educated, it does show it like it's part of the government. Part running, because we're going to public places, we're going to all these things, and the official ballots and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really, and that's why I think they're allowed to do this kind of action where they don't have to take the name off, because it's, I mean, that's, to me, it's not right, but there's no real way to go about it, because you don't want to take a person's vote away, because that's their right. But then again, this has nothing to do with the government, so you can take away their votes. Who cares? It's like a private party voting.
Bottom line, they need to be informed and know about it, and there's only so much that the government, everybody can do, and that's the problem. Everybody wants the government to tell me.
I don't know.
Read the paper, go to Facebook.
I don't know the laws, Nathan, but it has nothing to do with the government. This has to do with the Republican Party. Correct? Like, because that's from what I understand is the Republican Party isn't a government agency.
Well, I believe what we're talking about right now has to do with the election code.
Exactly. Yeah, the election code. That's
we're following. I mean, we're following the law as far as the deadline when someone can withdraw their name, and we're not in control of the timing of the events that have transpired over the last.
Well, the way I guess the way
weeks.
I see it is, I see the Republican Party as like a private party. Like private organizations, like the Conroe New Lions and all, like the rest of them. They're just a group of people who have certain beliefs, and they're really looking for somebody to vote for, to put on the ballot for the upcoming election, for the actual election. And I'm guessing I'm not seeing the connection between the government and that, because I feel like the Republican ballot is separate. The primaries are separate from actually.
Democrats can be separate ballot too.
Yeah, but then they nominate. Primary. That's kind of similar to what's going on with Trump and all of them. They're looking for the right person who votes. And, well, this is off topic. I'm just wondering how it works, because to me it didn't really make a lot of sense. But
I want to know about Patty Maginnis.
We want to know about Patty Maginnis. That's right.
What I want to know about Patty is, I've seen some of your pictures and stuff.
Yes, sir.
With a saddle. I guess is your family into horses?
Well, I love horses. They've been a passion of mine in my entire life, and we actually owned a horse for a while, and my husband had a very unfortunate experience and took our horse outside of the fence line one day when he wasn't supposed to, and ended up upside down in a ravine with the horse on top of him. Needless to say, I kept my husband, and we sold the horse. So I had the fortunate experience to travel out to Magnolia, and with the help of some supporters out there, that horse that you saw in the photograph, his name is Cody. And I'm proud to say I'll be riding Cody in the Go Texan Parade.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes.
So everybody else will have trucks and trailers, and you'll be on the horse?
I'll be on the horse.
Oh, giddy up, man. That's
with,
cool.
I have 3 other folks that are going to be joining me, some supporters with their horses that are trail horses. And needless to say, I haven't been on a horse in about 4 years. That was the first time in 4 years. And that was made possible by my husband. He got all that arranged for me, and he's going to trailer the horse out here for the Go Texan on February 20th. And myself with 3 other supporters will be riding in the parade. We're very excited about that. I could end up upside down on the ground, and there could be a photo op for the Courier. And, you know, they say any publicity is good publicity. So I just hope that I can maintain through the parade on Cody.
Vote for Patty because she's in a full body cast. I can see that.
That could be the headline later, very possibly. But we're excited. We're excited to participate in the parade, and I think it's going to be a great day.
That parade's coming actually this weekend.
Yes.
Starting around 1 o'clock in downtown Conroe. Everyone should come down and enjoy the Go Texan Parade. We're sitting with Patty Maginnis. She's running for Judge 435th District Court. Find her online at pattyforjudge.com. That's 2 T's, Patty, for judge.com. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what kind of seat this is. We kind of talk about why Patty wants to run for it and all that good stuff. But I also want to know what's the important role of the 435th. So we'll be back after a couple songs here on Mornings of the Lone Star with Meet the Candidates. All right, that's a good one right there. That's the Judds right there with Mama, He's Crazy. 9:40 here on Mornings of the Lone Star. Sitting in the downtown Conroe studios next to the Crichton Theater. Stop on by anytime. We got the Cindy Cochran Show coming up next at 10 o'clock, so stick around. And after her will be the Willis Hour with City Manager Hector Forrester going over the City Council meeting from Tuesday. And, of course, following him will be Lauren Swanke of 1097 Newspaper in Willis, talking all things Willis. Sitting with Nathan Arizzotti here of Montgomery County Lifestyle, and this is Meet the Candidates. We got a couple more segments. We're sitting with Patty Maginnis. She's running for Judge 435th District Court. Find her online right now, pattyforjudge.com. That's 2 T's, pattyforjudge.com. All right, Patty, this is what question we've been kind of teasing with. I want to know more about this district court, and I'm learning a little bit more about how the courts are handled here in Montgomery County. And it's kind of interesting. It's a long process, and especially what they represent for the state and the county. So tell me a little bit about the seat that you're running for.
The 435th District Court was created in 2007, and it was created as a general jurisdiction court. What that means is it's basically a court of the people. It can hear all matters. It can hear civil, criminal, juvenile, and family law cases. It was, back in 2007, given a preference to hearing sexual violent predator cases. And it was to defer to those cases, basically, and give them preference. However, that all changed. The 84th legislature stripped the court of the sole authority or the exclusive jurisdiction over those cases. So that will not be the focus of the 435th any longer. Now we will be looking forward to the court being able to hear all types of cases, which I think will be really helpful to the county. We have a bit of a backlog, I believe, of cases, criminal cases for sure. And at the jail, I've heard over and over again in various other campaigns that we have a backlog of defendants waiting in the county jail. So knowing the court could be up and running full time and really moving and disposing of criminal cases, I think is really helpful to the taxpayers and to county government.
That's it?
Well,
I'm not giving you a hard time.
It's not that's it. I mean, basically, this court can do everything.
That was just a dramatic pause, is what that was.
This court can do everything, and I hope the voters will get out and vote because, think about it. March 7th, we could be up and going. We could have 6 trials that month. We could have a docket every day.
So bottom line is, if you or your one opponent, because there's not 3 in the race,
correct,
if one of you wins outright, you take over that court the next week.
My understanding from Dr. Wilkerson, if one of us wins outright, then yes, we would be starting or would be appointed, I believe, by March 4th. And if there's a runoff as well, I believe that same scenario works out that way. And that's really thrilling to me. The idea that I could be in that courtroom March 7th with a full docket, and for people who don't understand what I'm talking about, a courtroom full of people having their day in court, being given their opportunity to be heard on their criminal matter, their civil matter, whatever the case may be, that's exciting, you know?
What's your vision? What's your plan of attack if you jump in there?
Plan of attack is right away to try to get a full caseload from criminal cases, for sure. I've already had conversations before running in this race. I had conversations with many of our judges and talked about the idea of opening the court up to other types of cases, civil cases and family cases. And I believe that they are agreeable to that idea. So I think plan of attack would be day one, I would need to meet with all the other judges and talk about allocation of cases and try to get our dockets up to capacity, meaning, hey, you know, Judge Wood, I'm happy to take some of your civil cases. I know she's really our only full-time civil court right now, so she's swamped and kind of drowning in work, I believe. So I would approach the judges and say, give me some work. Let's get going. And I think they would all be agreeable to that.
And, you know, it's interesting that the way the system is handled the way it is, because the more I learn about it, it's always coming down to the person the day in court, the way you said it, because that's really what it's all there for. It's
that's
the
right.
way this whole country was built on when it comes to the justice system, and you know that transition period with the unique situation that's happening in the 435th. How important it is to get something in because somebody's getting out and we got to get it going because people are waiting. And I know that's the biggest complaint right now across the board with all the judges who are running for something is we need to get these cases in and out, and we need to do it in an efficient manner but also in a speedy manner.
Yeah, and certainly with the announcement of the resignation of the current judge, if you think about that logistically and from a stewardship perspective, of stewardship of taxpayer money, right now the court is sitting there empty.
Yeah.
And that we need to address that. And you can address that by getting out and voting Patty for judge. Because March 7th, I'm ready to go to work. So we need to think about those things. That when you go to cast your vote, have a long-term vision here. You don't want more downtime March and April. You want us to be up and running.
So vote for somebody who's running.
Vote for someone who is eligible to serve and eligible to accept the position. And there are two candidates that are in that race that are eligible. The first candidate is Tom Brewer. The second candidate would be Patty Maginnis. And I encourage you to vote for Patty Maginnis because I am the most qualified. 13 years as a prosecutor, 6 years as a defense attorney. I have 4 years experience as a former municipal court judge. And, that has prepared me to serve the community. I've attended continuing legal education for judges. I have already exhibited the appropriate judicial temperament from the bench. And I'm free of any type of accusations or allegations of being biased. So I hope the community will research my qualifications, because I think if you do that, you're going to find out that my entire career has prepared me to serve you as your next judge of the 435th District Court.
Patty Maginnis for judge. All you got to do to find more on her online, pattyforjudge.com. Nathan?
Yes, sir.
You were about to say something, but I did my thing and interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if we were going to have another segment or not. I just wanted to know what made you want to be a judge, and when did you first have that feeling that you wanted to be a judge?
At the district court level?
In your life, when did you first think about it?
She was 9 years old.
No. Well, y'all be honest, I growing up, I only wanted to do three things. I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be a lawyer, and I wanted to be a veterinarian. I've done 2 of those things. I was a high school teacher before I went to law school, and I loved it. Then I had the chance to go to law school and started out prosecuting here, and I absolutely adored my time as a prosecutor. I really am proud of my service as a community. And the veterinarian, I don't think that's going to work out because I would have to go back to school, and my husband's already told me we're probably not going to do that. We're not going to slow down and let me go back to college. As far as the judge part, as a prosecutor, I served as a municipal court judge. It was a night job for me. So I would work here in Conroe during the day, and then I would go home and grab something to eat, and then I would go to the courthouse down in South County and serve as a municipal court judge. That came about, I was prosecuting also at night down there for the city of Oak Ridge, and they approached me about the judge position, and their city council voted and appointed me to that position. And I tell you, it was eye-opening for me. I had served as a prosecutor at that point for many years, and I sat on the bench in Oak Ridge, and I thought, man, what a view. Look, I gained the perspective of how jurors reacted to attorneys presenting their cases. I got to watch the prosecutor in action. I got to watch the defense attorney in action, and it just gave me a whole new perspective on the process and on the judicial system, and I enjoyed it so much. So when this opportunity came about here recently, I was watching the 435th District Court. There were some things that were very troubling to me about witnesses and jurors and attorneys and the treatment of them, that I thought, I can do this. I can fix this. You know, as a judge, your job is to call balls and strikes and to keep order to the game. That's the job. And I had done it in the past, and I thought, if I could get into this court, I can allow people to come have their day in court and give them that opportunity to be heard and ensure that due process occurs, while at the same time maintaining dignity and a respectful decorum in the courtroom. And most importantly, I knew that I would be able to help restore the public's confidence in our judicial system. So that's kind of, I guess when I watched what was happening over the last year, I knew I could do the job, and I had done it in the past, and I knew how important it was.
I like that answer.
It was good. It was. More information on Patty can be found online. PattyForJudge.com. PattyForJudge.com with 2 T's. Patty, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time, especially with your busy schedule coming up with early voting happening, for coming in. And I want to let everyone know, if you're just now tuning in for our Meet the Candidate segment, we're seeing with Patty Maginnis. She's running for Judge 435th District Court. We're going to be podcasting this interview, so you can catch it online at irlonestar.com in the future, on SoundCloud and, of course, YouTube. And so we wish you luck. And if you want to come back in, if we have time or whatnot, talk to Nathan over here at Montgomery County Lifestyle. He's in charge. He's the man pushing going out and voting, folks. mctx.org/election for your polling times and locations for early voting. You have till about February 26th, I believe. And then, of course, the big day on March 1st. So
yes. I ask you to vote for Patty for Judge for the 435th District Court. Please visit pattyforjudge.com. I want to thank Dick and Nathan for having me here. It was fantastic. And please get out and vote. Keep this your choice. Make the next judge of the 435th your choice. Don't give that choice up to an appointed process.
There you go.
Value your vote.
Nathan?
Yes, sir.
What's going on tomorrow?
Judge Jennifer Robin.
All right.
Judge Jennifer Robin, going for the 410th, already a judge, and she's going against 2 people, and she'll be in to tell us why she thinks she's the best candidate.
That's going to happen at 9 o'clock. Coming up next here shortly at 10 is going to be the Cindy Carter Show, but before that, we're going to listen to some good music. Here's some George Strait. Everybody likes this guy. This song's called Cheaper Than a Shrink.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.